This week on Fireside News, Post Malone faceplants off a stage mid-song and somehow doesn't spill his drink. The mic kept going, the man kept going, gravity, that was optional. A startup just raised $15 million to help people cheat on job interviews, college exams, and even first dates. And yes, they brag about being unethical. We're officially living in a Black Mirror episode. Nick Cannon was asked to name all 12 of his kids, and he couldn't. Also, a parrot with a foul mouth of a sailor is going viral, and everyone wants to adopt him. He swears like a Navy vet on his third whiskey. And in Florida Woman But Make It Midwest, a lady lit American flags on fire outside B-Dub's Pantless at 4:30 in the morning. Fireworks? Therapy? Maybe both. Yeah, this week's a mess. Let's get into it. Down in Jersey, a parasailing operator just became an off-duty superhero. Guy was working the dock when a woman and her two dogs slipped their kayak in the middle of a storm. Most people would have called 911 and posted a blurry video. Not this dude, though. He bolted to his boat, gunned it into the chop, and pulled all three out of the water. The woman, dog number 1, and dog number 2, all wearing life jackets, by the way. Absolute pros. No time for questions, no time for fanfare. Just saw it, saved them, and got back to work like he does every Tuesday. That's the kind of thing we don't give enough credit for anymore. No selfies, no GoFundMe campaign, just someone doing the right thing when it counts, you know? It's refreshing, especially in a world where most people panic when their phone battery hits 10%. Let's just give this guy a free boardwalk sausage and a beer. He earned it. Here's a weirdly wholesome marine biology update. Scientists just discovered that killer whales have figured out how to scratch each other's backs using kelp. Yeah, like full-on seaweed tool use. Apparently, orcas will swim up to kelp forests and rub their bodies against the plants. Not just randomly, they're taking turns, grooming each other, scratching that itch, you know? Some scientists are calling it first case of marine mammals using grooming tools in the wild, which means orcas have spa buddies, like little underwater massage chains, but with more teeth. Meanwhile, I got people in my life who can't return a text, and these whales are out here coordinating a full aquatic self-care routine. And I get it, no, orcas don't mess around. They're not just apex predators, they're emotionally available apex predators with skincare routines. Maybe we're just not on the top of the food chain. Maybe it's just orcas, and then us, with broken Keurig machines and therapy apps. Post Malone was performing in Arizona when he proved once again that gravity is optional if you're chill enough, man. He was mid-song singing Pour Me a Drink when he leaned out to cheers a fan, lost his balance, and yeeted himself right off the front of the stage, full-on wipeout. Somehow, through the chaos, he kept the drink upright. Didn't spill a drop, like he was born to fall with grace. The wild part, he was literally singing the words, "I've been breaking my back," as it happened. The timing was so perfect, people thought it was part of the show. The fan who reached out to cheers him posted, "Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to almost break your back." But Post popped back up, smiled, and kept going like nothing happened. Man, the man's made of rubber bands and good vibes. So now we have confirmation. Post Malone is unspillable. He could probably survive a bar fight, a stage collapse, and an alien abduction, and still walk out holding a full beer and a peace sign. So this week in, well, that escalated news, Martin Kove, you know, the 78-year-old dude who played Sensei Kreese in Cobra Kai, he got kicked out of a fan convention after straight up biting his co-star. Alicia Hannah Kim, who plays another villain on another show, says Kove grabbed her arm and chomped down hard enough to leave a bruise. That's what toddlers and feral raccoons do. Not aging stars, right? He told her it was for fun, which sounds like something someone says after they definitely should have stopped that one drink. She didn't press charges, but did file a police report and showed off the bite mark. So yeah, Kreese might be getting karate chopped out of future fan events. Never underestimate the danger of an old man with nothing to lose and sharp teeth. Seth Rogen admitted that one audition from his early career could have destroyed everything. On Jimmy Kimmel, he said he once tried out for the role of a developmentally disabled character in Geely. Yeah, that movie. And went so hard that if the tape ever surfaced, he said he's done. Seth begged anyone who might have it to please burn it or at least sell it back to him before it hits TMZ. He even joked that it would kick off his apology tour. It's kind of wild to think a dude who gave us Pineapple Express almost got wrecked by Geely. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're weird in the early 2000s, just pray the tape stayed on VHS. On John Party's Honky Tonk Hollywood tour, there's a pre-show ritual you probably won't find on your tour rider. Corey Kent says the crew plays something called taser roulette before they go on stage. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Spin the bottle, and whoever it lands on gets lit up with a bug zapper. Corey says he's been tased in the chest 6 times and somehow thinks it makes the show better. Honestly, I can't decide if that's insane or just good old country chaos, right? John Pardee hasn't played yet, but if he does, I hope someone's ready with an unplugged guitar and an EMT. So apparently Meet the Parents 4 is happening. Yeah, Ben Stiller, De Niro, and even Ariana Grande are on board. But Barbra Streisand, she's still salty about not getting paid like the boys did last time. She told Variety she made less than the other stars in Meet the Fockers and Little Fockers, and she's still mad. She said she'll come back if they throw a lot of money at her. Like, I don't get out of bed for less than 8 figures kind of money. And honestly, get your bags, Babs. Equal pay or Roz Fokker stays retired. All right, let's talk about the foulest bird in America. And I don't mean Congress. There's a parrot in Massachusetts making headlines because his favorite thing to do is to cuss loudly and constantly. The bird's got a mouth on him, man. It would make a biker blush. We're talking F-bombs, S-bombs, probably even a few new ones he made up on the spot. The shelter that took him in says he's surrendered by his owner, and now over 50 people from across the country are lining up to adopt the bird. Not in spite of the swearing, but because of it. One lady told a local station that she's always wanted a pet that talked back like her ex, but didn't leave dirty socks on the floor. The shelter posted a video of a parrot just letting it fly. Every word's bleeped, but you can still tell he's been hanging out with truckers or retired Navy guys for a while. He's the only emotional support animal I've ever seen that actually might fight someone at an airport. Nick Cannon was recently on a podcast and they asked him to name all of his kids, which is a fair question considering he's got, 12 of them. So Nick starts rattling off names, right? And he gets through most of them. Monroe, Golden, Powerful, Zion. It turns out the ones he forgot were Beautiful Zeppelin and Halo Marie. Yeah, those are the real names, not discontinued vape flavors. Now, to be fair, Nick did warn the host the question gets him in trouble a lot, but then he doubled down and said it's all because he's got a king complex. He said guys call each other king all the time, and now he's just out here living it. Bro, I've seen kings with less land and fewer heirs. If you got so many kids that remembering their names is harder than your taxes, maybe slow down. Maybe get a clipboard. Have you ever wished someone would just whisper the right answers in your ear, for job interviews, a date, or maybe just that awkward dinner with your in-laws? Well, meet Cluely. It's a new startup that raised $15 million this week to help people cheat. Bet everything. Job interviews, college exams, you bet. First dates, it'll tell you what to say about Monet even before you even step foot in the art museum. The founders got kicked out of Columbia for using a prototype to cheat on tech interviews, and instead of quitting, they just leaned into it. They rebranded it as the future of success and got venture capitalists to hand them millions. The software uses an undetectable AI that coaches you live, feeding you what to say during Zoom calls, dating apps, and even phone calls. It's like ChatGPT for lying. And here's the wild part. They openly call it cheating. It's not a bug, that's the pitch. The bottom line, we're about 5 years away from someone giving a TED Talk while reading the whole thing off of their thigh. So Morgan Wallen just kicked off his new I'm the Problem tour, and instead of trying to avoid his messy history, he lit it on fire, literally. During the show opener in Houston, he dumped fake lighter fluid all over the stage while headlines from his past scandal flashed on the screen. Like the time he lost his SNL debut, broke COVID rules, and got snubbed by the CMAs. Then he raised a lighter in the air as if to say, yeah, I've been a mess, let's burn it down. He even brought out some local celebs like Texans legend Andre Johnson and Mattress Mac. Because nothing says, I'm back, baby, like pyrotechnics and a furniture guy who always bets the house. Fans went nuts, too. Jelly Roll commented that it was one of the greatest concerts he's ever been to. So if you're going to own your scandal, do it with fireworks, a twangy chorus, and a man named Mattress Mac. That's country redemption done right. You ever hear a story and think, yeah, that totally tracks? Well, this is one of those. A woman in Iowa was arrested last week after she was caught setting American flags on fire while naked from the waist down at 4:30 in the morning. She was spotted outside of B-dubs with the flag tied around her head like she was leading a rebellion, and yeah, she kicked the officers when they tried to arrest her. Turns out the flags were stolen. There's drug paraphernalia on her, and she is already on probation. Just ticking boxes like it's a Florida starter pack, Charges include arson, indecent exposure, assault, theft, drug possession, and desecration of a flag. And here's my takeaway. When your 4th of July plans involve nudity, fire, and federal charges, it might be time to switch from fireworks to therapy. New episodes drop every Friday at noon Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, so set your alarms, mark your calendars, or just tattoo it somewhere tasteful. The best way to support the channel, drop a comment. Seriously, I read all of them. Laughs, hot takes, unhinged bird adoption stories. I want to hear it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It tells the algorithm I'm worth keeping around, you know? I'll see you next Friday.